Do you feel like you're putting a lot of effort into the gym but not seeing progress? I felt the same for years, but I started seeing a pattern that I have really doubled down on. In this video, I really want to share what worked for me and how I broke the barrier of feeling stuck and not making any progress. So the first point here, I want to talk about admitting to yourself that what you're doing isn't working. You really gotta be honest with yourself and really reflect upon, does this split make me feel good and does it provide any progress? Am I getting stronger in the gym at the lifts I'm doing? Self-reflection is really crucial here because you really gotta ask yourself, and don't lie to yourself, because it's easy just to lie to yourself. Oh, maybe I was just feeling down, maybe I didn't get enough food, maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Really just ask yourself, am I making progress or not? And is this working for me or not? So really just take a pause from what you're doing right now and critically think and analyze what you're doing right now and ask yourself if it's working. This is a mindset thing, but I think it always starts with a mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, you can't actually make any progress in what you desire to do. Personally, admitting this to myself really changed everything and changed how I looked at the gym and at myself. One thing that I learned is that mastering recovery is essential to both your progress and your long-term goals when it comes to the gym. I feel like not enough people are talking about recovery because it's slightly underrated. People just tell you to go back in the gym when you feel ready, but how do you know when you feel ready? It's very hard to get recovery right, and it takes trial and error, but you really have to get this right, and you really got to know your own body very well to get this right. Because recovery is essential to making progress in the gym. Let's take an example here. So let's say that you train chest on Monday and you do 10 sets. And you do the same on Thursday for 10 sets as well. So that totals up to a total of 20 sets of chest per week. That is a lot of sets. And really try to notice how your body is feeling after these workouts. So let's say that you go in and you do these 10 sets. You probably feel, oh, you gotta pump Monday and you're feeling really good. Then Thursday you might feel more fatigued and you might feel like more exhausted, but you still have your pump because most people are training for a pump. Over time you will burn out and you will need a deload. But why do you think you need a deload? That's because you're not recovered. And when you get back into the gym after deload, you feel way stronger. And why do you think that is? That is because you're recovered. That's why recovering is essential. So let's take an example on a better strategy. That is going in on Monday and training chest for 4 sets. And then Thursday you maybe train chest for 2 sets. That's a total of 6 sets of chest per week. This might seem low, but you need to measure your progress. So let's say you go in again on Monday and you feel you're stronger compared to last Monday. That means you recovered well. You actually made progress in the gym by doing less because you allow your body to recover. For me personally, I think strength progression is a very good indicator of how well recovered you are in the long run. You might fear losing muscle on this lower volume of doing only 6 sets of chest per week. Like what? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you gotta try different approaches in the gym to see what works for you, because recovery is a very personalized thing. And if you fear of losing muscle but you're gaining strength each week, do you think you're losing muscle? You're probably not if you're gaining strength and doing progression every single week. So the key lesson here is to experiment with your sets, lower the volume or higher the volume depending on if you're making progress or not. Maybe you're gonna grow on 4 sets of chest, maybe you're gonna grow on 8 sets of chest. You gotta experiment with that yourself and see where you make the most progress strength-wise. Next, I'll share my current split, and you might want to try this out for yourself. My current split is I run a lower volume split where I do upper lower. So I do upper 2 times per week and I do lower 2 times per week. Here I try and train with 4 to 10 sets per muscle group per week, but I'm always adjusting compared to am I making progress or am I not making progress? Because you gotta think of fatigue. Also, if you have a demanding job where you are very active, you might be fatigued from that. That means you need less sets in the gym because you're not gonna recover for the gym session. Like fatigue is not only the gym, it comes from all factors in life. But the beauty of this is that you can't just copy what I'm doing and copy the exact sets of chest I'm doing. You really gotta experiment with yourself because it's so individual. Recovery is so individual. This split actually really broke the barrier for me, and I actually started seeing real progress. I'm getting stronger each lift, and I'm actually cutting right now, and I'm still seeing a lot of progression. Working out didn't just transform my physique, but it actually completely changed my whole mindset. If you're curious on how fitness changed my mindset, you might want to check this video out up here. Progress isn't about doing more, it's about doing what works for you and where you see the most progress in the strength gains.